Are you tired of all the uneducated noise you're getting from the droves of YOLO meme coin peddling douchebag gurus out there trying to use you as their exit liquidity? Would you rather learn a competent university level set of skills that will guide you in managing and investing for the rest of your life? Join us 3 days a week at Digital Investor. Develop your knowledge of game theory, cognitive bias, macroeconomics, monetary theory, investment theory, psychology of the crowds, and more. For more info on Digital Investor and how it can help you, reach out at nickblacknext.com.
No, I haven't heard about it, and I don't think they know anything about it. You got to keep in mind, well, you don't got to do nothing. You might want to keep in mind that they put this thing together in a couple of days on the back of some napkins while most of them were having drinks in Panama. If you've ever been to a conference, it's usually a few hours of conference and a lot of hours of nonsense and camaraderie and buddying, and half of the people that were probably there are not even employed by that company anymore. So I wouldn't count on them to have anything meaningful anytime soon. It was just a very rushed, very sloppy, very game theoretically weak, lazy proposition with a whole bunch of, quasi fraud cooked into it. So probably nothing anytime soon. And when you do get it, it's going to be sloppy and weak, just like the game theory that was not applied as they developed it. Because this was a machination of idiots, and then they convinced a couple of people like Ben Gortzel to go in on it. But this was the ASI token confabulation was a machination of a bunch of idiots that thought they could fleece a lot of people and put some money in their pocket. So what would dummies do? I don't know. They're probably buying GameStop meme coins on Stellana right now. So they'll get back to ASI after Roaring Kitty quits, inching his way closer to a prison sentence. All right, what else we got? Hello. Man, I was doing good. My morning was on track, and then one of the kitties feels like the mat, the mat that the cats use to like clean their claws off after they use the litter box. So now one of the cats, I know which one, he's taken to using the mat as where he pees because he feels like that's where I'll pee. This is right here. I don't have to climb up. I can just do it right here. So that's its whole own. So it's a new routine that I have now three times a day is I have to like fold this thing up in this very slow, clever way, take it outside, hose it off, let it air dry. So now I guess I'm going to buy more mats so that I have replacement mats for when I take those mats outside. So maybe I'll have like a mat cleaning area for the mat because there's 3 big giant litter boxes. Anyway, it's added, it's like an extra hour to my day. Oh, also, by the way, they do this at 4 a.m. That's when they choose to just destroy everything. So 4 a.m., not 10 at night, 9 at night before bed, certainly not in the morning at 5 or 6 when I wake up. No, it's got to be 4 4 a.m. 4. It's got to be 4. And it's got to be loud. Anyway, kitties. From the desert. Do you remember, Luddite, do you remember Art Bell? Did anybody watch the did anybody listen to the Art Bell show before Nori took over? He was all right, but Art Bell was the best. Anybody ever? My buddy and I drove to Area 51 to the edges of what was supposedly Area 51, where you could drive all the way up. You know, I think it's off of 92 in Las Vegas. But anyway, you leave Las Vegas, you go you go 92, and then there's like this road. There's 2 ways you can get there. There's Mailbox Road, which is like 10 miles or 9 miles. And then there's this other road, which is 14 miles, but it's less inhabited by government like SUVs. And we had a rental car, my buddy and I. So we drove from Vegas. We drove all the way to the sign that says, if you pass this sign, use of deadly force authorized. And we saw the mountain range and all the helicopters patrolling the mountain range. And then all these SUVs kicked their lights on. We were like, but we were listening to Art Bell when we were doing that. We thought, oh man, we should be calling Art Bell and doing this live. Those are the days, man. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Hello. None of those things have to do with money. Hello. Lots of hellos today. Yeah, Brandon responds to a lot of emails. The more he likes lots of emails. And if you have an idea, it's best to break it into 4 or 5 emails of non-congruous thought. That's the best. That's the best thing he likes. Like just at the end of your email, don't even sign off. Just put ... Or in the email, do like 1/9 so he knows 8 more emails are coming. That's what he really likes. That's his favorite thing. Also, I think at 4 a.m, but you got to go an hour earlier for his 4 a.m. Hello. Okay. Howard, have you heard anything about the AGIX airdrops? I don't think they're going to happen. At least not in the old form. Those airdrops that were going to happen, apparently, well, surprise, SingularityNet dropped the ball on that. And surprise, they made a bunch of promises they couldn't follow. Whoa. Can you imagine coming out of that team, that group of oracles? Can you imagine? But anyway, yeah, all that crap's off. I remember Jasmine, I had messaged her a few times over at Rejuve, not like that token's worth a dump, but I had mentioned to her over and over, hey, you guys promised this. Are you going to do it? Oh yeah, we're doing it. We're just going to do it. We're just waiting for SingularityNet to do some blah blah blah, some programming, some coding. SingularityNet doesn't code anything. They don't have. There's no product. There's nothing to code. They don't need coders. So I was always dubious. I was like, wait, what? What do you mean? I thought you guys were the ones. It's your tokens. It's not theirs. Yeah, we're SingularityNet. And she just kept dithering, like someone who's like got a radio, like a phone close to their face. They just slowly remove it. Like, no, like lost in space. Anyway, yeah. So that fell on its face. Cogito, I don't think they had any plans on doing an airdrop because they don't even know what their business is, much less airdrop. So long story short, yes, all the AGIX airdrops looks like they're not going to occur. Now, Hypercycle is putting something together with a project that they're doing that they're going to hook up the community, but it's not like an airdrop in the traditional sense. But it's something really cool. But that has nothing to do with AGIX either. That has nothing to do with SingularityNet because that's something that Tufi is designing to create inclusion and all this kind of stuff. And so there's no relationship to that and what they're doing at SingularityNet. I would assume if I were you that you got nothing coming from SingularityNet because Janet was talking about some date for a snapshot. That's all bogus because Ben knew nothing about it. So they can't both be right. Anyway, I would assume that there's no airdrops coming. Just assume it. But the good news is those tokens have all collapsed. So there'd be nothing to airdrop anyway. What, some dust? They'd give you some dust. Ain't nothing there. Right. But why that's important for those of you that are like, okay, who cares? Well, the who cares is because a lot of people simply own AGIX for the airdrops that were promised them, because originally of the projects that Singularity Net launches, remember the direct projects, not partnerships. Remember, Hypercycle and Twins are partnerships. They're not spin-offs of Singularity Net. Not spin-offs. But the spin-offs, the Crapquitos and the new net got an airdrop. Singularity DAO got an airdrop. That was actually a good one. In spite of them, and you had to sell it quick because the token collapsed in value, as you've seen. But the new net one they did, this SDAO one they did not do Rejuve. They did not do no Sophiaverse. Now they could do Sophiaverse at some point in the future as some kind of marketing thing. But they don't have much of a marketing team over there. I don't know if anybody works in marketing at Singularity Net. As far as I know, everybody does every job and nobody does any job. And you have admins that are in control. Like there's admins over there that are also doing web design and stuff. It's a poop show, fellas. So yeah, it's unlikely that what you were promised you would get. However, let's go to this question because it's kind of apropos. So is it a good thing or a bad thing to buy? Well, that depends on you. I would never tell anybody to buy something or not buy something. You've got to do what makes sense to your portfolio for your risk tolerance, and that falls within the limits of your dollar cost average strategy, which I hope you're employing. So is it a good thing or a bad thing? It's a you thing. It's you. Does Ada Lovelace want to buy AGIX, Fetch, or Ocean right now? If you were going to buy them, you're rolling a lot of dice. You're rolling a bunch of dice. But you wouldn't, if you were going to buy AGIX, Fetch, or Ocean, you would say, okay, I'd rather buy AGIX, or I'm saying if you would buy AGIX or Ocean if you were dollar cost averaging, because when they finally do this transition, if they do it, when they finally do the transition, there's a ratio, and that ratio between AGIX and Fetch and Ocean is pretty much the same. It's like 0.4332 or something like that. And that means 0.4332 AGIX tokens or Ocean tokens. I know it's a little bit different, but it's basically the same per Fetch. So if you're buying those tokens at a ratio that's below that, you're going to get a little bit of extra when you swap into them, when you bridge into them, or whatever tomfoolery they use to swap the tokens out. And it looks like there'll be Cosmos versions of the asset, which would be stakeable through Cosmos Station. There will be Ethereum versions of the asset, which is what most people trade now. And they've said all these other things, but although that's silly, and it's silly because there's not a lot of liquidity. There's just minimal liquidity in this ecosystem, and so splitting it among a bunch of protocols, I don't know how wise that is when you're trying to pump the token up so that each one of the teams can extract 100 million US dollar currency units value of asset. So do your math on that. Me wouldn't touch these things with a damn 10-foot pole if someone else was the one holding it. Like, no way. I'm not selling anything because I think they're going to pump it. I think they have to pump it because, again, they all need their exit that they've promised each other with a bunch of glad handing and back rubs and beer. But I would not be entering any of those positions unless, you think it fits your portfolio. Okay. No, I don't think the pump already happened. They haven't extracted the token. They still need to get their 300 mil. I come up with 300 because I think each team has agreed quietly to take $100 million off the table. I know the fetch people have. They said it. Ben just said it. I'm clawing back 100 million tokens that were supposed to be locked up. AGIX. That's when AGIX was $1, by the way. Now it would have to be 120, 130 million tokens because now his AGIX won't go so far. So they need to pump the token. Isn't it weird to say they need to perversely rig the market to push the value up using other people as their exit liquidity so they can all take $100 million exit? What a bunch of dicks. Well, maybe it works. 6 months from now, we might be looking at, an ASI token at $9 and be like, man, they did it. Those sons of guns did it. And at this point, we're up so much from the 2 or 3 or 4 cents or 7 cents where we were buying these assets that whatever happens, happens. Why is my thing blinking? It's supposed to be charging. Charge my thing. It's not charging my thing. I have a little charger. It's supposed to show you which thing it's charging, and then it would blink if it's not charging. But it's blinking, and it's not charging. Technology, bro. Okay, OpenAI yesterday. Some people weren't impressed, and those are people that are simple and don't understand what they're seeing happen. There's the new model that was released looks like it's a little bit better in many ways than 4.5. Okay, wait. It's a little bit better than GPT-4. We don't know if it's 4.5. We don't know what it is, but it looks like it was a model that was being tested. The chat GPT-2 whatever chat. Anyway, it's called, the model is 4.0, and the O stands for Omni. The cool thing is, and yeah, we'll talk. The cool thing is it's going to be free to everyone. And the latency is a lot less. It's a lot more, the language processing and the communicative ability is a lot more robust. It's a lot closer. Who knows how many businesses they just put out of business. Every time they do an upgrade or a release, 10,000 people just become obviated. Businesses just disappear. This is you're seeing it in real time. You're seeing what's happening. Hopefully you're seeing it. Hopefully you're not just like eyes closed. Anyway, it's pretty cool, and it's going to be free. Think about that. And then Google has an announcement today. They're going to try to come out with something cool, but Google is just a bunch of failed bits. Google's cool, but they S the bed a lot, man. They S the bed a lot. So we'll see. And there was a couple of shots. If you watch that show, there was a bunch of shots they took at Google directly, kind of making fun of not being live, like they were live. And, because remember, Google put together that big thing about Gemini, and it wasn't faked, but it was kind of faked in that they clipped out the time in between the responses. So it made it seem, and then Google was like, oh, God. So they didn't launch Search GPT yesterday, so they didn't completely end Google. But I'll be interested to see what Google has. And certainly for this new model for Omni had to take a little bit of the theme out of the sales of Google today. So we'll see. I think it's their IO conference, whatever. Anyway, we'll see. Now, remove the mats. What are you, mad? You want me to have them should I have them just pee on the floor? Outrageous. Pee training mats. Toss them, not wash. You think I'm rich, Barry? You think I'm wasteful like that, bro? I eat Campbell's Thick and Chunky, man. Come on. Okay. So this likely won't happen. Any ASI pump that will occur. No. You're still missing it. No, we probably covered it. They have to pump it. They have not yet pumped it. They will pump it, I believe. or the whole thing's a big fail. Not only is it a big fail, they've embarrassed themselves and it's a big fail. You don't want that kind of fail. You want to at least have some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Today's bias, the illusion of truth effect. When someone is more likely to identify statements as true if they've heard them before, regardless of the actual validity of the statement. Yeah. Yeah, there is that. Let's see if I have my document. The illusion of truth. Let me see which one that is. Where's that at? That's number, illusion of truth effect, number 17. Let's find it. I'm going to read that one because that's a good one. They're all good ones. We should go back and do a whole cognitive bias. Maybe that's what we'll do next week. We'll just study cognitive bias. Anyway, here we go. The illusion of truth effect. People are more likely to identify statements as being true if they have heard them previously, even if they cannot consciously remember having heard them, regardless of the actual validity of the statement. In other words, people are more likely to believe a familiar statement that is false than they are to believe a true statement that is unfamiliar to them. Example, you see an advertisement for the same products over and over and over, and it gives you the illusion of truth in what they're saying, even if there's no facts to verify it. Like these, I think the thing on YouTube now is these generators. I'm not going to lie. I don't need a generator, but damn it, I've seen like 17 ads for these generators. I'm thinking, well, do I need a generator? Do I need a little generator? I don't know what I'd do with it. Now I'm thinking, maybe I should get a generator. Anyway, I don't even know what I would generate. So it's kind of like it's kind of like the way history is told, right? Tell a lie enough times and then it starts to become the truth. And this has deep underpinnings in our understanding of how things can be eroded over time as we're grinded down by new information, regardless of the validity of the information. And, I've seen, you ever done this? You ever go to the movie? No one goes to the movies anymore, but you see something and you see like a movie and you leave and you were like, it was kind of okay. It wasn't great. But then you hear the media drone on about how good it was. Like, oh my God, this is such an amazing movie. And then it's winning Oscars. And you're like, what? Remember Roma? Roma. Do you guys remember that? It was like black and white security camera footage from Mexico about a lady cleaning like dog poop mostly. And then like there was a little bit of a revolution at the end and there was a weird party with like weird people. They're like, this is so sublime. Sublime. This is awful. It was so bad when it was so bad that it caused a stir. Like even the Directors Guild, like Spielberg finally stood up and said, okay, like enough is enough. This has gone too far. Like he actually made a statement about it. Like we've reached the tipping point of stupid, which was good. I'm glad someone stood up because it was awful. Anyway, but we as humans tend to believe things that are familiar, even if we haven't fact checked them. So the more you hear something, this is the Solana effect. And this is marketing, right? You hear something over and over, the less inclined you are to fact check it. So it's easier just to assume, well, I keep hearing it. The information must be correct. You wouldn't keep spewing this stuff socially if there wasn't some social proof to it, some validity. But the validity comes from the fact that other people just keep parroting it. And it's the continuous bombardment of similar news. So yeah, marketing companies, advertisers use this quite frequently. They know that if you hear Coca-Cola a million times a day, you'll find yourself ordering a Coca-Cola, like when you're in line at the movies or shopping at Kroger, or just brand familiarity, just seeing the brands over and over. Same kind of thing. Do you know, by the way, that there is so much sugar and salt in Coca-Cola that they have to add special drugs that suppress your body's natural vomit and gag response? Like, you can't eat it without this drug, an anti-convulsion drug. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, To beat this, you want to be rigorous in your constant evaluation and reevaluation of facts and data. Do not rely on the media for your investment decisions. Do not rely on YouTube, this included, for your investment decisions. You have to make your own decisions. Ask good questions. That's the only skill now. Be precise in the way that you ask questions so that you get responses that are, in line with what answer you're trying to get. Ask questions that deliver you the answers you're looking for. That's going to be the new skill, because it's going to be first prompt to, text to ... whatever. Film, food, media, entertainment, whatever. Soon it's going to be thought to ... It's not that far away. Anyway, the skill will be asking the right questions. Yeah. So learn to ask the right questions, be vigilant, and always listen to your risk tolerance. Which I don't know that people do that so much. But anyway, there you go. The illusion of truth effect in gritty, gory detail. Are we supposed to do anything with our nodes on Node Market? Let it be for now. They're tilling, and you're fine. When compute rolls out here sooner than later, then you will point them at some hardware or use your own hardware, and you will be participating in the compute ecosystem, meaning you'll be part of one of the many participants in that internet of AI in between AI machines, right? So that'd be kind of cool. Okay. No, we had to take it seriously, buddy. I don't feel like ranting today. I just cleaned up cat pee for 2 hours because it was not 2 hours. That's too much. 45 minutes, definitely 45 minutes of cat pee. And the good thing is that cat pee doesn't smell that bad. When they mark, it smells bad. But Loki, I'm taking Loki tomorrow morning to get fixed. He's gonna wear that cone thing. He's gonna be bumping into stuff. He's already big. He's big now. Anyway, yeah, I don't have any rants in me. No rants for Tuesday. We're gonna talk about something different. We're gonna talk about layers. Logan is not a great business leader. Logan so far that whole thing's just a dumpster fire. I mean, I wish them all the greatest success because many of us own those assets. But I don't think that team is capable of AGI. Does anybody think that team, that group, are going to get humanity to artificial general intelligence? Buddy, bro. All right. Let's see. Any more questions? And then we will get to our schooling. Let's see. I'm here to mimic your every move. Yeah. Okay. My thesis has changed. Typically, the BTC supply shock does not happen till around 6 months post-halving. Yes, this is true historically. With the spot ETFs shattering records, I think supply shock will be sooner. Thoughts? I mean, I think we're probably already in a supply shock, but you have a lot of macro factors. We did just get through tax season less than a month ago. The entire damn planet's in a recession. Should be pretty clear, like really clear. People are, up mostly almost a double since the ETF. So people took some profit, and probably some of the newer entrants in the space were clutching their pearls when the price went down from 73. So they're like, I don't know. I can't sit around. I don't want to give it all back. Because now you have a whole new class of rookie, retail investors are rookie Bitcoin investors. And they're not looking at it as this cool new technology that may shield you from, the abuses of profligate parties like everybody in banking and the Federal Reserve and every other central bank. But they're just looking at it as an asset on their balance sheet. Oh, my blah, blah, blah is going down. My blah, blah, blah is going lower. Okay, whatever. All right, buddy. All right, buddy. So there's that. There's a lot less Bitcoin on exchanges. I mean, there's less than 2 million Bitcoin on all the exchanges, period. So at some point that kicks in. But no one wants to be the first one to really start digging in. The only person that's okay to be the first one to buy, even stupidly, is Michael Saylor over at MicroStrategies. And he's an idiot. Well, he's not an idiot. He's a well-intentioned fool. His game theory doesn't exist. There's not a part of his brain that can even that can process that. However, he does have a good engineering mind. So it's kind of weird. It's like, how can someone that smart be that stupid? But, sometimes people get weird kind of tunnel vision. And I think he's become Bitcoin. I think it's fair to say he's Bitcoin religious. And so maybe, when someone gets very super, super religious and kind of vigilant and kind of, indoctrinated into the fanatical side of anything, they tend to kind of put on blinders like those racehorses. So he keeps buying no matter what because it's not his money, because he's borrowing against public shares, and the people that own MicroStrategy just don't care. It's the weirdest thing. I guess they too are like, he's the cult leader and they're the cult followers, and they just keep buying it. And so what he does, because it's a company, whenever Bitcoin goes down, they just take an impairment or a tax. They just go, oh, well, some of our assets went down. We'll take the impairment and all this kind of stuff. And when it goes up, they're like, we're winning. Well, the only people that are losing are the investors. And Michael's not losing. I mean, heck, he didn't even pay taxes. Well, they may make him pay taxes. Still some question of whether he defrauded the government out of $100 million worth of taxes in Washington, D.C. That's neither here nor there. So yeah. I don't know what the timeline is for these things. My guess is the summer always seems to suck in crypto. And that's when, kind of your version of fundamental analysis, your 5 T's and things like that pay off, because you can find assets that are banging around where you can make money even in that kind of flat, quiet market. But we're still way better than we were last year. So we'll see. Losing the signal. All right. Okay. Yeah, I like the real-time voice translator stuff was awesome. Really cool. Ben embarrassed himself on YouTube. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Ben. I just feel like, you think he owes somebody money or something? You think there's like, is he in trouble with the mob? Like, what's going on? Like, he has just changed. I think he's just not the Ben that I like. For many years, I've really kind of respected that guy. And that dude is in there, right? The extremely intelligent dude, that dude is in there. Hooday, what up? But we haven't been able to access that dude in a while. Howard, let's see. You've been married 35 years. So you guys did not meet on Tinder. Is that safe to say? You did not meet on Tinder. They met like on the old version of Tinder, which is just like two pictures on a wall, and you just like slide one to the right. It's like a picture book. You go left or right swipe like that. Bring out the Tinder notebook. Howard's coming in. He's wife shopping. Let's see. So if we make a mistake on our AI request, we might get a wrong. Yes. Well, you'd have to really make a mistake, I'd say. But yeah, I think we're going to be able to do text to full feature-length film. I don't even know if it takes a year. I know Hollywood's in the way that we understand Hollywood now, it's all going away. I also think the whole thing of like acting going away. I think directing and director of photography, that the way you enjoy your cinema or your story experience, I think that's where creativity will still be interesting, although you could parrot that. So maybe that's going away too. And then you just have some references. Oh, in the vein of, Christopher Nolan, or in the vein of the early Steven Spielberg, not this recent crap where he's Oscar fishing. God, pandering. It's bad. Everything, well, gosh, the stuff he's worked on so far lately has not been good. This is Steven Spielberg really S the bed. But the early Steven Spielberg stuff was awesome. I mean, awesome. Steven Spielberg's like, you look at his stuff, dude, he's the best. And then he just started crapping the bed. Yeah. Age. Anyway, yeah, it'll be prompt to or thought to full feature. And then the way that you absorb that's going to be different too. I think theaters are going away. I've been in the theater. I try to go like once a week and it's just empty. Like empty. And now they're showing tons of commercials. It's like 35 to 45 minutes now of commercials. And they're like regular crap commercials. Bad. Is the video you showed recently available to rewatch? Is that the, Richard, are you talking about the video of the music video that they did, that Sora did? I put a link to it on, I guess I could do that again. The one that Brandon and the music's way better. That consuming it through YouTube like this, like through a secondary whatever, is not so good. But if you watch it, the music's actually, when you watch it, the music's good. It's pretty legit, if that's what you're talking about. And I would just go back to a video. It was last week, so it's going to be either Monday or Wednesday of last week. Yeah, he's a well-funded idiot. He's got a lot of people, man. He's got a lot of people that are, yeah. And Toofy's smart because Toofy surrounds himself with business people, and that's probably why they're not in agreement with what's going on over at whatever they're going to call this amalgam, this chimera, this token chimera. Do I think Tika was right about Fetch? Tina? Is there somebody else? Tika. No, I don't think. Listen, Tika is not right or wrong about anything. Keep in mind, Tika got paid. He's worrying about going to jail. But Tika got paid to pump projects. He never had any desire to own them. He would secretly own them and tell people to buy them before he would do his press thing. But his whole thing was, he was going to tell everyone to buy something because it was really good and make an argument. And then he got paid for that directly. Here's money. Tell everyone to buy this straight up. And that's not so legal if you don't disclose it, and certainly not legal if you trade behind the scenes and use the people that you just sold this to as your exit liquidity. So there's another one. There's another one of the creeps that we called out years ago. I like it too. It's pretty funny. So like if I think someone's a creep, people are like, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. After 12 in a row, I probably lost my moxie. I'm like Spielberg. I've only got 12 in me. Pretty much, man. If I think someone's a creep, they're a creep. We even nailed it with Sleazy CZ. Even he got some time, man. And a fine. Did he ever get a fine? $4.5 billion fine. How'd you like to take that hit and smile? Ooh. You're going to be able to do so many cool things. I know that the movie industry in Hollywood hates this, but what's great is that everybody here with some imagination is going to be a storyteller. You're going to be able to create a story, an amazing story, Hollywood level, Hollywood quality, awesome story as long as you can ask questions and frame it in your mind what you want. It's going to be awesome. It's going to make everyone a creator. And once everyone's a creator, you'll be able to get more unique voices, unique storytelling voices. I think it's going to be great. I mean, if again, if you went to school for this and your business is like entertainment in Hollywood, you're fucked. But everybody else is okay. Dear God, if you went to acting school, oof, you light that money on fire. That and a job at Starbucks will get you a paycheck. And by the way, there's some pretty creative. There's one guy at Starbucks who's really funny. I hope that someone discovers him and he becomes a comedian. He's got it down. He says things like at the right time. He's funny. Hope he makes it. But he's got a girlfriend that I think is overbearing because I hear him sometimes commenting on that. And I think that's going to, although, a good overbearing girlfriend story could definitely be like the foundation of a good comedic. Well, that's your platform. SNET is putting out ASI propaganda once a week. That's about right. I mean, look, I hope they pump the snot out of it. Okay. So in other words, unstake and dump it on hypercycle. No. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I'm just saying. Do you think the finished products would be Amazon fodder? Yeah. I mean, what I think you would do is, I think if you can generate films that you really think are cool, I think you should generate them and put them on YouTube. And if you start developing a following as a filmmaker, a film thinker, you're still a filmmaker, then you're going to gather attention. Like, if anything that this whole kind of social media and all this has taught us is that this is the long tail of interest. So you might find the most random places or random people that you find interesting, and then off you go. Like, if you're a musician, everybody's like, I don't know how to get discovered. Put your stuff on YouTube, dummy. Like, just put it out there and see. What we can tell is that not too many people are interested in crypto, right? This is not, you're not going to get, famous talking about crypto. You're not going to get rich. You get rich investing. You get rich in, talking about finance. You got to be kind of spammy or scammy. That's why all these guys tend to go down the newsletter road. But if you actually know what you're doing, you can invest and make money. So that's good. And you can build a group of investors, and that group of investors, if they're like-minded, can make money. That's what the digital private client is. A bunch of like-minded accredited investors. So if you get people that know the basics, they don't all have to agree on everything, but like-minded in, the ideas of using some system of fundamental analysis, not investing in creeps, being smart, having entry and exit strategy that's consistent and rules-based. And you can make a lot of currency units, like you as a group, because you have more power. You have more negotiating power as a group, especially like when we go in and like fund companies. I had someone reach out yesterday and say, hey, my buddy's company wants to tokenize a bunch of equity. Could you do it? Yes, we could do it. They said, could that be something that people could trade on Node Market? I'm like, well, we could create a private market for that. A private, security asset thing. Would have to fall within the SEC's guidelines and all that kind of stuff. And, but again, you start thinking, okay, what does the future look like? And can we participate in it? And can we build it? Yes, there's money to be made there. So, yeah, I think anybody with good ideas can eventually monetize those. And the road from narrow AI, where we are at now, to, is there like a line in the screen? Hold on, let me look at something. No. It looked like there was a line in the screen, right? Was that just me? Hold on, let me go here. No line? Now there's a line. No line? I don't know, people. Anyway, Tika should be locked up for putting me through the longest, most boring presentations and always using but first. I know, I hate that crap. I just try to jump right past the but first. There was one. I promise you there was a line. I'm not going crazy. I mean, I know there's a lot of lines behind me. Don't go down that. There was a line. You just didn't see it. What if that's the first sign of jungle madness is that you see a line on the screen? No, it's not that the stamp is not messing with me. And the stamp doesn't make Howard have seizures. He's just being mean. He just doesn't like the stamp because he didn't make it. How is your hardware source? Well, there's a bunch of hardware sources. So there's a whole, it's not just HyperPG. HyperPG is one of them. And I can't say anything on the others because they will press release those when the time is right. But yeah. They have, I think there's like 4 potential HyperPGs kind of things. So anyway, remember HyperPG is a partnership. It's a limited partnership. It's HyperPG is not Hypercycle. Hypercycle is participating in it, but it's a joint venture. It's a JV. All right. If you think you see line and it jungleizes you, you might become part of the jungle. I know. Oh, yeah. Remember the movie, the Natalie Portman, where the people just turned into plants in that one weird, that was creepy. Like they would just slowly become plants. That's some weird stuff. How'd you like to wake up and just plants are growing through you and then you're just plants? You're just plants. Yeah, it was cool. And it was like the big crocodile thing or whatever in the water. And they had to like deal with that. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on that one. Okay. I had some questions about the different layers. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, parachains, side chains, top chains, bottom chains, all this kind of stuff. So I think maybe we should talk about various blockchain layered technology. Just go through really quickly. What are layer 1s? What are layer 2s? What are layer 3s? And parachains and side chains. Just a real basic little thing, because I feel like, yes, Annihilation. That was it. I like that one. That movie was cool. And the music was cool too. Yeah. Anyway, great. Okay, so let's do that. So let's switch gears a little bit. And let's go into class time. And let's talk about these dang layers so that you guys have it more, at least somewhat more clear in your mind when you hear all these people spewing all this stuff. Because as we approach the Ethereum ETF denials and then the upvotes, what's the opposite of denial? It should be like you have denial. It's not anile. That sounds bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it passes, it succeeds. No, it needs to be like a cool word. Anyway, the ETF denials are coming for Ethereum, but I think that mid to late August, BlackRock and a few more will push through. And so you're going to be hearing a lot about layer 1s. What's a layer 1? Smart contracts. Oh my God, it's changed the world. And then you're going to hear about layer 2s. Oh, well, if you like layer 1s, you love layer 2s. And then yada, yada. And then layer 3s, which gets a little bit silly. And side chains, parachains, like Polkadot, things like that. So we're going to talk about that.
Hello. You're late.
You're bad at math, but I'm giving you an A+ in confidence.
Just doing what I gotta do.
Extra credit.
Okay. See this? This is a cool little, yes, ChatGPT. Or GPT-4. Get it? Like the layers. And if you look, is this the one? So I did one like this. And if you look, there's like little symbols for the tokens. I thought this one was cool. There's another one and it has like it has like Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. The problem is, since it's not good with like words, the image it got like alien words. And I was like, I don't want to do alien words. It's not that kind of day. I've cleaned up too much cat pee for alien words. Anyway, as we go into the layers, let me touch the right buttons. Okay. This isn't a super exciting topic, but it's necessary because otherwise you're going to start getting things confused and things will seem like they're interesting and they're really not. Or they'll seem, this new layer 3. Nah, there's nothing layer 3 that's new or exciting. Anyway, everybody's heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the blockchain, and listen, they mean blockchain is a catch-all term. It's a very sloppy, big term, blockchain. Distributed systems is much more accurate. And they're not all cryptocurrencies either. There's tokens, there's coins. People go and say, this is a coin, but this is a token. And that gets into a whole thing. We're not going to go there. But other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, you have, another 200,000 assets, most of them crap, like almost all of them crap. But you'll hear different layer designations given to them and solutions within the distributed system space about how they work together to solve some of these big challenges. So the first one is layer 1 blockchains or distributed systems. These are foundational layers. So your layer 1 blockchains or blockchain-based ecosystems, these are the base layer of distributed or disintermediated technology, cryptographically secured assets. That's another cryptocurrency, cryptographically secured currency. Anyway, so the layer 1s are like the ground floor of a building. And you should think Bitcoin, Ethereum. You should also think Cardano, Cosmos. These are, you could say Algorand, but I mean, it's the layer 1, but it's not, there's nothing being built on it. But yes, but they often struggle to handle lots of transactions at once. Now, Ethereum is a prime example of a layer 1 that has had some problems scaling. And you see this in the fee paradox, right? You hear the scaling, it's got to scale, scalability. Well, you can either be really, really secure, have really good transaction finality, or be really, really fast. What you can't be is 100% of all three. There's only 100% to give. So you have some, when you're designing something, there's all sorts of considerations and there's trade-offs, right? So like imagine trying to fit your entire school into one classroom, not very comfortable. And this is kind of like what layer 1s face. They're cramped. Everything's jammed typically because the more use they get, the more crammed they get. And then transactions, the efficacy of the network slows down. Getting transactions pushed through slows down. Things take a lot of time. Fees skyrocket. There you go. So then you say, okay, we need to boost efficiency. We're going to make layer 2s. So to help with scalability, we have layer 2 solutions. Think of these as elevators in our building, and they don't change the structure, but they make moving around much more fast and efficient. A layer 2 solution will process transactions separately from the main blockchain and only settle final results on layer 1. The way I think about it, and again, all this is to keep the network speedy, to keep it clean and elegant. Think about like the Lightning Network for Bitcoin or rollups for Ethereum. So the way that I imagine it is you have a bank. Let's say the layer 1 is the bank and you have your bank account there. And then you have a satellite bank that you do tons of transactions with all day long. But at the end of the day, they just send the net. So you might, with this little satellite bank, you might do 200 transactions that day. You deposited $100, you pulled out $99. The difference is $1. So what they're going to do is at the end of that day, they're going to take that $1 and they're going to just post a $1 transaction. Now, that smaller bank, the little satellite, they have the records of everything. And they've hashed those records, basically turned those records into a group of letters and numbers jammed together that can verify the validity of that information, that actually occurred. So it's like one of those little holographic stickers, okay? They say, this is the net of all those dang transactions that happened. Oh, sweet. What's the net? $1. Okay, cool. And that frees up the bank to do a lot more business because they're not worried about every dang $1 here, $1 there transaction that I'm messing with. So that's the way I think about it. Anyway, then we have layer 3 blockchains, which are kind of these specialized floors. Now, layer 2s, real quick, do sometimes get confused with side chains. The difference is that a layer 2 inherits the same security characteristics as the original layer. A layer 2 on Ethereum has the same security characteristics as Ethereum itself. Side chains are different projects that use the same framework. All right. Anyway, before we get to side chains, let's talk layer 3 blockchains, which is, a bridge too far in most cases, but there are more specialized, what we would call layer 3s, and they're built on top of layer 2s. So you can think of them as specific floors in the building designed for a very particular purpose, like a floor just for art classes or science labs. And they allow you to have custom solutions, like unique ways to handle very specific transactions or new kinds of applications that make these distributed systems even more versatile. These are very specific, very specific use case type applications. And so layer 3s are, you just wouldn't imagine a scenario where a layer 3 blockchain exploded in use because they're so customized and specific. And so investment wise, they don't make sense yet. I mean, who knows what the future looks like, but a lot of this stuff is going to happen behind the scenes and the robots will do it. And also AI and bots and things like that are going to clean up a lot of the activity you see just on the layer 1s and layer 2s. All of this is going to be run by robots. Humans are not going to be a part of this. So yeah, I would just look for a lot of efficiencies there. Anyway, then we have parachains, and then we had alluded to side chains. So parachains, you should basically be thinking Polkadot or Kusama, but parachains and side chains are like adjacent buildings, right? They may be connected by walkways, right? Like parachains, the Polkadot and Kusama variety, are where each chain operates independently, but they share security information and they share historical information. Okay, so those are like chains, right? But they are parachains. Think of them as like tubes connected every now and then by little walkways. Side chains operate on their own, but are connected to whatever that main layer 1 is. This allows them to experiment with different rules, different technologies, specifically different rules for governance, different rules for consensus, things like that. Both of these help in handling more transactions and offering more flexibility. Side chains and parachains can be thought of as they're trying to do similar load easing as a layer 2 would do for like Ethereum, side chains and parachains. But with a side chain, it's kind of like you have this new take on a layer 1. Like, okay, I see what's going on over here at Ethereum, but I have a new way to do this. Then you would launch a side chain, right? So you see that happen quite a bit. And most of those are just poof, gone, fire in the pan, flash in the pan. For those of you that remember with Cardano, you had, there was going to be a side chain that was going to be the Midnight protocol, which was going to be a privacy blockchain, and we were all going to get tokens. And then I guess that was a big fat lie too, because that all just kind of went away. So thanks, Charles. I don't know. I mean, those guys weren't built. Charles wasn't building it. At first, it sounded like he was. He was, I think, not completely honest about how all that went down, but that's neither here nor there. I like Charles, but he's made some mistakes, and the token has suffered as a part of it. Anyway, so in conclusion, blockchain is a big sloppy word that represents a bunch of different assets and a bunch of different protocols. So you have layer 1s, layer 2s, layer 3s, side chains, parachains. But it is a whole ecosystem of solutions that are trying to work together to build more efficient and flexible, decentralized or disintermediated data environment, right? Remember, it's not just about money, tokens and money. It's about moving data around. And sometimes that data, that data has different value depending on who you are and what you want and how fast you want it and how secure it is and safe. So just like a school has different areas and systems to support all the type of activities, hospitals do. Think about hospitals, the whole city right there. Blockchains and blockchain-based systems and ledger-based systems use layers and specialized solutions to support a wide range of applications. And you can kind of, it's a city, man. You got yourself a city. So there you go. Little chat about layers. All right. Who do they share security with? The layer 2s have the same security, usually the same security parameters, like if you were to dig in, as the layer 1s, right? Side chains do not. They tweak. They can, but side chains typically tweak a little bit. They tweak the rules. They might have different ideas about security and the kind of global state of the network, and different ideas about how they want consensus to occur, how fast they want transactions to process, things like that. What would occur on chain, what would occur off chain, all that. Let's see. Let's get into that tomorrow. There's no more wealth token, by the way. There's no W token. It's R and S. R is for revenue. S is like security, like equity. There. That's all we're going to do. That's all we're going to do for now. Okay. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. And yeah, what's a layer 0? It's not reliant on any blockchain, which is badass. I would talk about other layer 0s, but I don't think there are any other real layer 0s. There's a couple of hack job copies, but nothing. I haven't seen anything to the degree of hypercycle, so they're not worth mentioning yet. Who knows? I'm sure we'll have some more. Anyway, stay in school, don't do drugs, don't do anything but poor and solvent drunk, strung out on meth, grandmother or Brandon wouldn't do, who may or may not be wearing sleeves. He said it's going to be in the 70s, so he's probably wearing a tank top, probably getting a fat ass tan today, like I will be, in between cleaning cat pee.
If you're an accredited investor and you want in on angel, seed round or early round equity and token opportunities in the artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency space, schedule an interview at nickblacknext.com. In life, you can either be really good, really lucky, or just be first. Being first is so much easier. Schedule a digital private client interview today at nickblacknext.com.